All right. So I want to talk about envy, coveting. The scripture says that we are not to covet our neighbor's wife, our neighbor's house, our neighbor's four by four, our neighbor's lawn, our neighbor's kids, our neighbor's parents. One of the things that I've heard it said plenty of times that envy steals your joy. And there's a whole lot of truth to that. But envy and coveting does a lot more than just that. Okay. I've actually heard people say things like, I wish that, they wish they question whether their testimony is cool enough. Right. And as somebody that has a testimony that, where I came out of a lot of drugs and alcohol and porn and just a whole bunch of things that I was definitely doing wrong. Coming out of all of that, you know what? There's a whole lot of things that you get thrown back in your face. I've heard people that have a testimony of, hey, I got saved at VBS when I was 5 years old and I never walked away. And, they're almost like, I wish my testimony was more cool. And now you ask me, hey, Adam, which testimony would you prefer for your kids? A life of sleeping around, drugs, and getting into all kinds of trouble? Or would you prefer a life of, I just came to God early on and I never walked away, and I was available to serve, all my life. I want my kids to have I want my grandkids to have the latter, not the former. I want my grandkids to have a testimony that they were available in serving God in elementary school. I want them serving God in junior high and in high school. I don't want them finding out that they were throwing their lives down a hole and screwing it all up until their 20s. I don't like how bad. What kind of awful testimony do you want? But I've heard people talk like that, like their testimony. They just wish it was more cool. Right? Don't covet your neighbor's testimony. Don't covet your neighbor's vehicle. Don't covet your neighbor's, stuff. And the thing is that when you do that, you don't appreciate the things that you do have. When you, and the reality is that you don't know the whole story. You don't know what your neighbor had to do to get all that stuff. You don't know what their marriage is like behind closed doors. You don't know, like the cool stuff that your wife does. You're probably not going to be appreciating it the way that you should, because you're thinking about somebody else's wife that, she just seems to be really doing cool stuff. I like the way that she dresses. I like the fact that she cooks. I like the fact that, that she has a job. I like the fact, on and on and on and on. And the thing is that, you should be focused on. I ran into a guy early on when I was young, married, and super unhappily married. I ran into this old guy and I said, hey, what's the secret? He had been married like 40, 50 years or something like that. And I said, what's the secret? He goes, appreciate what your wife does right. Celebrate celebrate all of the good things, and that'll get you a long way. And I thought about it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I didn't do it because I was young, and I was really focused on what wasn't right. And it was that focus on what wasn't right that got me, that didn't make me a great husband. It screwed me up. And, in the same way that there was in the Love and Respect series, there is there's a line in there where they say, who should apologize first, the husband or the wife? And the answer is whoever's the most mature. I think that you love your wife by faith. I think that you appreciate the things that you have by faith. I think that you appreciate the health that you have by faith, that you appreciate your transportation, your housing, whatever. The fact that you're able to listen to this is staggering to most of the world. And the more that you take the time to appreciate what you do have, the more happy you're going to be. Like I think that the purpose of the do not covet command has a ton of really great applications. And not the least of which is that, you know what, your happiness kind of rides on this. Your happiness is sort of dependent on you appreciating what you have. And coveting really screws that all up. Coveting completely screws that up. So yeah, what you have, the parenting that you got, the upbringing that you have, whatever it is that you find yourself most annoyed by or bothered by or coveting, that other people had it better or easier or whatever, you know, it's going to screw with your happiness. It's going to screw with your joy. And the fact of the matter is that coveting those things actually doesn't provide them for you. You can't covet your way into a bigger house, covet your way into a nicer vehicle, covet your way into a better wife. There's just no benefit to it. But it is a life-sucking, legacy-stealing vehicle for you if that's how you want it. I'm Adam Funderburg, and this is a Men's Development Day moment. Catch you later. Bye-bye.